this is all visible and you're ready to get some value, get some understanding, get some education, which is what I'm all about and which is what I want to um, give you as much as to make you understand certain aspects, how you can implement it to you, the benefits of it, the downsides, and give you some education you can implement. That's one of our big focal points inside our community is self-education, implementing what you learn, testing it for yourself, instead of bouncing from diet to diet, thinking that your problems will be solved with some external source, when the reality is educating yourself on basic principles and understanding is the best way to success in anything in life. But nutrition, weight loss, even more so. That's my opinion is one of the biggest reasons why we'll have a huge rise in people being overweight, low on confidence, um, anxious, down with themselves, depressed. Yet we have the most abundant and easiest way possible to lose weight. There is more gyms than ever before. There is easier ways to learn these type of things online, but we're not getting the education we really need. Instead, there is an abundance of quick fixes which aren't solving the real problems. So my aim for this is to give you some education based on my experiences, my learnings, and see if you can implement these strategies with yourself. And it is just a strategy. It may not be a long-term thing you can do. It's just something that may help you in the short term and or long term. All right. So I'm calling this Fasting 101, Fast Your Way to Success, how fasting can improve your concentration, increase energy, improve gut health, and drop inches. Very quick disclaimer, I'm not a fasting expert, okay? This is general information I've took from various resources and used myself, and also a couple of my clients as well. It's not to replace any medical advice, it's just for information purposes. Okay, so here are the benefits to fasting. Um, First of all, there are many complex and detailed benefits to fasting. I'm summarizing these from my learnings and experiences, but I do have a link here where you can learn more and get more detailed advice if that's what you're looking for. If you're really into knowing the real scientific details around fasting and what it can benefit. For example, it's been known to reset insulin sensitivity, improve your metabolism. You know, these are pretty in-depth detailed things which may not be relevant to all of you. So I'm going to summarize and keep it simple and streamlined, um, not to condescend you in any way or anything like that. It's just to keep it simple and most impactful to you guys. But you can watch this video. That's a video of a guy called Paul Check who I've followed and learned a lot from throughout my whole 3 years experience of helping the public, but also ever since I was discovered him, which was probably when I was about 23, 24, and he's helped me learn a lot about nutrition since then. And he actually inspired me to leave my job through watching his videos. It inspired me to get me where I am today. So he's very impactful to me. I respect him, and he's very credible as well. So I'm just going to summarize some of the key benefits. Higher concentration levels. Um, this is one of the things that I've noticed. I mean, right now, as we are speaking, I'm fasting. I had no food in this. My energy levels are high. You can probably feel it in my voice. I've just clapped my hands really hard. I'm pumped up. My focus is razor sharp. Granted, I do have some coffee with me as well, which also helps. But even without the coffee, when I had a break from coffee as well, and I was doing the fasting period, I noticed that my energy levels and concentration levels were at a high level. Mentally, I could think well. I was creative with my thoughts. I got a lot of work done. And one of the reasons behind this is because when you're eating food, your energy is focused on digestion. Remember that the human body needs calories and energy for basic functions such as digestion and elimination. Um, if you think about this, is one of the reasons why I don't enjoy people counting calories, is because often they're very, very underestimated. The BMR, which is the basal metabolic rate, the minimum amount of calories the body needs just to survive, is fairly high, and even women, and they often perceive that to be too high amount of calories. But that is just if you were to lie in bed all day and do diddly squat, just allowing the body to survive and just eliminate into a poo bag if you just lie in bed all day. So when you're fasting, the energy isn't concentrating on digestion. If you notice, the first time you'll do a fast, and even multiple times you'll do a fast, or even when you eat in general, when you get that that sluggish feeling, that feeling that you've ate too much, you may have, but there's also a lot of energy being processed into the digestion portion now, which eliminates energy from other areas. So you're low on energy for exercise, thinking, those type of things. So the focus behind that is you've got more energy flowing through the body, flowing through the brain into your concentration levels. It's good for your gut health as well. So similar to what I just mentioned before, there's less strain on the body, so the digestive system isn't working. A lot of people will get up, have breakfast, lunch, tea every single day without even concentrating on whether or not they are hungry, whether or not they need to eat. And some people may not even poop for a full day, or maybe 2 days, and you're just piling food on top of food, which is not great for the gut. Um, it gives the digestive system basically a bit of a break, less strain on the body. Digestion and elimination is a stress on the body. And if you're constantly piling food into the system, that's a lot of strain, that's a lot of work on the gut, and it can become damaged. So that's also another benefit. Weight loss, of course, because if you're skipping out a meal such as breakfast or your evening meal, which I'll touch on next, then overall you're eating less food. So that's going to be helping you. But I touched on energy before, so it increases your energy levels and you feel less bloated, so you feel more energetic, more lively, you feel better in yourself. A little side note on the eating side of things. If you've been eating too little food for too long and you're not losing weight, this is unlikely to help. I've touched on this before, and I try to keep it. I try to talk about this often, just to keep it in your minds. Similar to what I mentioned in the BMR before, if you're eating under the minimum amount of calories that the body needs per day, the body is over time going to prevent you from losing energy, which is calories, which is body fat. Because, especially from a female point of view, there is strong evidence around this and research that the female body has evolved over time to preserve body fat, which is why women store more body fat than men. It's from an evolution standpoint. When we were evolving as humans, the females, well, humans in general, would go through long periods of time without foods. Without food, the men would go out to hunt, and that's why they're more adapted to becoming leaner with longer periods of time without food. But the female body adapted and evolved into protecting, preserving. Um, so from an evolutionary standpoint, basically we've evolved to, if the female body is having so little calories over a longer period of time, it goes in a state of famine and doesn't know when it's next going to be getting food. I've touched on this before, that the body only cares about your survival. So if you're eating too little for too long, then you're going into fasting and eating even less. That's not going to help. That's not going to help. It's just going to stall it even more. You need to gradually start to eat more calories if you're in that position. But if you're a person who's eating a lot of foods, fasting is a great way to drop some weight in a short period of time. So how does it work? You can have your last meal on an evening. This is how I do it, and you don't eat until 12 to 18 hours passes. So usually takes you around lunchtime. So it depends what time your evening meal is. Um, you can do it the opposite way, so you can do it from lunchtime to breakfast as well. Personally, I prefer morning fast just because that works better for me mentally and what I have going on. You can mix and match and try them. Um, an evening one will work well if you're not too active on an evening, so there's less need for food and energy. Um, Generally, as a good rule of thumb, reducing the calories and food proportions you take in as the day goes on is a good general rule of thumb for weight loss anyway. So that might be a good time to do it for you. Personally, it works better for me in the mornings just because I eat quite late at night. So when it comes to me waking up quite early, which I do, which is around 6, 7, I'm still not very hungry. And I haven't eliminated yet in the toilet, if you get my drift. So I wait for that process to happen. So my digestive system has went through its process. I've eliminated. and my body will then soon start to tell me that I'm hungry again, in which case I know it's okay to eat. So it's really about paying attention to your body and not just eating for the sake of it and eating when you're hungry and having that break. If you've had a big breakfast, big lunch, then you might not feel hungry when you come home after work, especially if you're not exercising, and you can try a fast that way, in which case you'll probably feel more hungry in the morning, ready for a breakfast. But always be drinking water. You can miss food, but you can't miss water. Always be drinking water during the fasting period and during the day anyway. So here's what not to do with a fast. Break a fast with a big, heavy meal. Some people will get away with it, some people may not, but similar to what I mentioned before about the energy getting focused on the digestion, if you when you're first starting a fast, you may experience big hunger pangs because you're not quite used to it. And it might be tempting to go home and just eat the entire cupboards. That's going to defeat the purpose. You're going to feel tired, you're going to feel sluggish, and it's not going to get the most benefits out of it that way. So it's about being focused and getting your mind switched on to the fact that, right, okay, I'm starting to feel hungry now. I'll go home, I'll make a nice, balanced, nutritious meal, eat it slowly, eat it calmly, and you'll find that that will be just enough and satisfying. And then you go about your normal daily food from there. Don't stop drinking water during a fast, like I mentioned before. I'll touch on that in more detail as well. And don't have milk or sugar in your tea and coffee during a fast. Similar, no fruit juices, no nothing. Just water. If you're having sweetness inside, even drinks, remember that the sugar in there, your body's going to, the blood sugar is going to be spiking, insulin's going to be released, and your body thinks it's now processing something. So it doesn't count. Your body thinks that you're basically eating something. Um, do not train hard and then fast. You always want to have good quality nutrients, food, replenish the energy you've depleted after a hard training session. So don't train hard in the evening and then say, oh, I'll fast for breakfast. You don't do it that way. Um, do not fast after a hard training session. Eat well, and then maybe later on in the day or whatever it may be, you can do, but always have a meal after you've trained. Okay, so here's the strategy. Here's what I would do, and here's what I do. Plan the day or the days you're going to do a 12 to 18 hour fast. For me, it is most mornings just because of the nature of my work. I work quite late at night, have my tea late at night. I'm up, I'm out the house, bang, I'm in the gym. And then by the time I've done all that stuff, I've eliminated, then naturally I'm just ready to eat again at lunchtime. Doesn't always be the case. Sometimes I wake up more hungry than others, depending on what I've done in the night time. Plan those days ahead though. Make sure it's not after a heavy training session. Make sure it's something you can occupy your mind with, especially if it's the first one. Maybe don't be sitting around in the house because then you could be tempted to go to the cupboards. You've got to decide that. You've got to pick that. Also, prepare to bring water for those days. It is a very bad idea to not drink water during a fast. You're just going to make yourself feel like crap. And you're going to make yourself feel like crap if you don't have water anyway. And again, prepare to break the fast with a good quality balanced meal. And one thing you can do is you can start with a 24-hour fast. Now, I've done this before, and a couple of my clients do this as well. It's a good way. This is one of the most effective ways from research. This a 24-hour or 18 24-hour fast has been shown to reset insulin levels, etc., etc. I'm not going to dive into the complex details behind that. Just know that it has benefits if you want to try it. But I wouldn't go over 24 hours. Always drink water. Make sure it's a rest day as well. And during a fast of any kind, especially a 24-hour one, you want to lightly flavor your water with freshly squeezed orange juice. This is a tip I took from Paul Chek from that video that I linked at the start of the presentation. The reason why you want to be lightly flavored is because it will it'll give your body enough nutrients and sweetness to keep your blood sugar stable, so you're not dropping the blood sugar too low and feel too hungry and think, I can't survive, I'm just going to eat a big massive cake. Do you know what I'm saying? But if it's too sweet, if you taste any sweetness whatsoever in that flavored water, your body thinks it's eaten and your insulin levels are spiked, blood sugar is high, and it's done. Okay, so it has to be very slightly flavored, like a lightly flavored tea. You shouldn't taste any sweetness. It's just enough nutrients, enough energy, just to give the body that steady balance of blood sugar, and that is absolutely fine. Okay, so here's the next steps. If you want to try it, let me know, ask me questions. I can keep you accountable. I can help you out with the whole process. It's a good thing to do and to try at least, um, for the reasons that I mentioned before. So use this strategy and start planning. If you want, you can let me know and I can help you and keep you accountable and give you advice along the way. But apart from that, just get to work, start planning it, try it. If you're struggling with your nutrition, like I say, if you feel like you're eating too much at the moment, one, I don't think you probably will be. Most people's perceptions of eating too much are not as bad as what they think based on the basal metabolic rate. I don't usually like to dive into this type of complexity just because I think it's more beneficial to get into a good habit of eating good quality, balanced meals on a daily basis, including snacks, and those type of complex things just take care of themselves. But if you are genuinely feeling like you're eating too much, such as takeaways or big portions or whatever, or you feel like you need to try something different, this is a good place to start. All right, so I think I'll end the presentation there. If there's any questions, please ask. A little bit over 15 minutes, not too bad. I'll leave the line open just for 1 minute if you've got any questions. Okay, well, if there's no questions, you can message me anytime. You can post in the group anytime, and I can help you out with this. Other than that, I would suggest getting to work, trying it. Let me know what you think, and try and you think, then you can't really expect to see any changes without any effort. So if you feel like you're not making much progress, start trying things. Okay, speak soon. Bye bye.